Hi everybody, it's Melissa with Melissa's Creations here with another Melissa's Creations live episode. I once again am still in the hotel and the internet connection is very poor, so I really apologize if this broadcast doesn't go well. If for some reason I get cut off, I will try again, and if another time I get cut off, I'll just stop this and I'll do a regular tutorial and upload it for you later. So today's episode is all about the gatefold technique. I had somebody from my team ask me to do a tutorial on gatefold. So we're going to do that today. We are using an old favorite, Jar of Love. If you guys want a little bit more detail about what we're doing, you can look in the description box below. As you jump on, say hi, let me know who you are, where you're from. I would love to hear from everybody. So, oh my gosh, celebration is in full swing. I have had 2 recruits last month. I want to welcome Cheryl and Tori. Tia. Thank you ladies so much for joining my team. Kidnapper, hobbyist, business, whatever you want to do, we can make it happen. Be happy to talk to you about the Stampin' Up! Opportunity. All right, now this is going to be a little bit different because usually I have a sample to show you on what we're going to do, but today I have all the pieces cut out, I just don't have it assembled. I kind of had an idea that I wanted to play around with, and we'll see if it comes to life once I actually glue everything together. I have pre-stamped quite a few things, but we will go through a few of the steps and I will do some stamping to show you what I kind of have in mind. Hopefully it turns out okay. We'll see what happens. But mostly this is about the technique for the gatefold card. So I'll give you the measurements and I'll give you the pieces that I've used for my card, and then you can turn around and create something beautiful with this information. And I would love to see what you come up with, so please let me know in either the comments where I can go to see your item, or tag me if you're on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. I'd love to see what you come up with. All right, so without further ado, let's turn you guys around and we'll get started. One more time, if my connection fails, I'm still in the hotel on hotel Wi-Fi. It is horrendous, so if my connection fails, hopefully it won't, then I will try restarting the video. If it fails again, then I will just do a regular tutorial later today. So let's hope that everything's okay. I don't see any comments yet, so I'm hoping that I'm broadcasting and everything is going okay. So if you're out there watching, let me know who you are, where you're from. I'd love to give you guys a shout out. So without further ado, let's turn around and get started. Okay. Oh, gotta turn that around. And I might need to fix this. Hold on a second. So being in the hotel room, I am having to get very creative with my the way that I have my camera set up. I apologize for the wiggles. I'm almost done. So sorry. I'm literally having to tie my selfie stick to the lamp to get this to work. So please bear with me. I'm almost done. I almost have it, I think. Okay. I think that should do it for now. As long as I don't wiggle it around too much, we should be okay. Let's see here. Okay. So, who do we have joining us? Hi, Diane. Thanks for joining. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to, so many things happening, and of course, live video in the hotel room is just, it's a little difficult, but we're making it happen. We're making it work. Let me bring you guys in a little here so that you can see a little better. Okay, so gatefold technique, here we go. I have my Jar of Love bundle, so it's the Jar of Love stamp set along with the Everyday Jars framelits. And I've used some of the flowers to stamp accent pieces. And then I've used most of these cutouts to cut out plain pieces of our cardstock. So I have all the pieces pre-cut, And all I'm gonna do is kind of do a little bit of stamping and then assemble it, but I'll tell you guys what I have here. So, look at all these little pieces. Oh my goodness. That's gonna be fun, isn't it? To put all that together. Okay. So I'll get those out of the way. So first of all, a gatefold card is a card that looks like a gate when you open and close it. So this is a regular card size. We have 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and when you open it up this way, it is 8 1/2 all the way across by 5 1/4. So it's a regular half sheet of our cardstock, US cardstock. And I have just scored from each end at 2 1/8. Double check, yes. So you just score it at 2 1/8 here, and then you flip it around and you score it at 2 1/8 here. And that gives us our gatefold base. So that is how the magic all starts. And then if you want, you can do a belly band. And what I've done here is I've taken a 1 1/2 inch, 1 1/2 inch wide by 8 1/2 inch long piece of cardstock. And this is rich raspberry. This is mint macaron. And this is going to create our belly band. Now, it does not have to meet in the middle. In fact, it's better if it doesn't. That gives you a little bit more wiggle room so that you can easily slide your band on and off. So to get it to wrap around the card in a nice way, I have actually scored it twice on the edge here. So I've scored it a 1/16 of an inch more than 2 1/8 and less than 2 1/8. Does that make sense? So I have like this nice little, it almost looks like a matchbook, kind of. It has a flat bottom here, a flat side. So basically, I think that comes out to be something like 2 1/16, and then 2 3/16. So really finicky. If you don't want to get that finicky, just wrap it around your card and you can fold it in place. Okay. So we have our gatefold, we have our belly band. The other pieces I have 2 squares made out of rich raspberry, and these squares measure 2 1/4. And we're actually going to do a really fun technique with these. I was browsing Pinterest and I was just going through all the different ideas for gatefold cards. And I can't remember whose I came across, but I saw them do, it's like a pinwheel kind of technique. And I just thought it was so much fun. So that's what we're going to do with this. We have our base, and then we're going to layer our stamped pieces on top. And that's going to go in the middle of our belly band to cover up that gap, and also it'll be the focal point of our card. Okay, so these squares are 2 1/4 inches, and I have 2 of those out of rich raspberry. We have a piece of Whisper White. Now, if you just have a standard size of a card front for US, which would be the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, just cut 1/8 of an inch off of 2 sides, the short side and the long side. This is going to be layered inside of our card, like so that you can write your message, and we're going to do a little bit of stamping on that too. And then the last pieces, besides the little ones we'll get to in a minute, these are the same height, the card base minus 1/8 of an inch, okay? And then they're just cut at 2 inches. So it'll layer on like that. I've already stamped this piece. We're going to stamp this piece. Hopefully it looks okay. Like I said, I haven't made this specific design yet, but I just wanted to show you how the gatefold card actually worked, and then I would go into the rest of the details. So I have all my little tiny pieces here, and I've already pre-cut all of my framelit items. So we have 4 of the stems in mint macaron, and we have some of those beautiful flowers, these little flower guys. So I have, it's this one here. I used that to cut one time out of rich raspberry and one time out of Whisper White, and then I used this flower here to cut one out of each of those colors as well. And finally, I have my pink bow, and I'm not stamping on these little pieces. I really want it to look clean, especially because it's going to be layered on something busy. Hopefully it won't be too busy, but you'll find out with me and we can go through the critiquing process together. So I've already pre-stamped all these pieces. These are 1-inch squares and I have 8 of these. So I stamped with the 2 flowers, the little flower here, and a heart, and then I stamped with craft ink on top of my rich razzleberry. And you can see that it's not white. It kind of took on the color of the ink, and that's kind of what I wanted. I didn't want it to be stark white in the middle of those flowers where I stamped the little stamen guys, the inner bits. So that's what I did with that, and we'll stamp a couple squares just so that you can kind of get the idea. So I'm going to set this stuff aside for the moment. I'll do a little bit of stamping and then we will start assembling. So this is a 2x2-inch square. You can do all your stamping first and then cut. You can cut and then stamp. On these, I did have them all 1 inch. I cut them all to size and then I stamped them. But you can do it however you'd like. It's also really pretty to use designer series paper, but being in the hotel, I don't have a lot of options and I can't order a lot, so I had to kind of improvise. So that's why I made my own DSP using the stamps. So that's what I'm doing here, and like I said, you want 1-inch squares. I'm stamping currently on a 2-inch, but I can cut that down in a minute. So that was rich razzleberry I did with that little flower stamp, and now I'm gonna do melon mambo, not watermelon wonder, melon mambo, and then I'm just gonna stamp the little heart. That's not a heart either, is it? Oh my goodness. The little flower, stamp him around, and then we're gonna grab the mint macaron, and then we're gonna do the little heart. And you know, I wanted to do the heart in a different color so it would stand out more. And I just thought that the mint heart was just super cute. So again, just stamp that randomly around. And remember, you're going to be cutting these into 1-inch squares, so it really doesn't matter where you stamp or how it's stamped. There. Okay. So once you have that, then bring in your trimmer. And depending on what size squares you're working on, then I'm just going to trim this down to 1-inch squares. I tried to stamp so that I got a little bit of each color on all of the pieces, but I'm missing my pink. I only have a little tiniest touch of pink right there, but that's okay. That's also another reason why I kind of like stamping after I cut my squares, so then I can, you know, see where I need more color. Okay, so now that we have those squares stamped, we're going to stamp our other piece of the front panel. So I've stamped these with the stem from the Jar of Love set out of Rich Razzleberry. So I'm going to do the other side. And I've stamped these kind of going out this way. I want to stamp these going this way. So we'll start this corner, and then we'll just kind of gradually go out. And you can space them closer, farther, really get however creative you'd like with this part. I just love that we can make our own striped paper with the stamps from the Jar of Love. One of my favorite things. And if you really want, you could actually line them all up and really make a chevron pattern. But I am just fine with how that came out. Okay. So now let's get to adhering some of our pieces together. I'm going to take my 2 Rich Razzleberry squares with some snail. You can really use any type of adhesive for this part. And then I'm just going to put a little bit in the middle on one, and then we're going to layer it. So I want to try and use my grid paper to center my square so that I have a better position here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be in the half like this, because you really want to make sure that you get it lined up properly. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a bit. 2, 3, 4 and a bit. Okay, so that's about right. That's about center right there. So now I have this center. I can just line up this square with the darker lines here, 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 and here. And then I know that it's centered. Thank you, Diane. I thought that was pretty clever. Using the stem as a stripe. Very cool. Okay, so that is our main focal point of our card. So now we can assemble our little pieces. Now, this part is optional, and I probably won't sit here and make you watch me sponge the edges of all of these pieces, but I would probably recommend doing this to give it a little more texture and interest, because you're going to be layering these little pieces on top of each other, and I think that it would really make it look a lot more put together and professional if you sponged the edges of each of the pieces, because when we lay these down onto our card accent piece, we're going to be layering them kind of like this. Okay, so I think that by sponging the edges of all of them, it would make it look a lot nicer. See, this one's just plain. You kind of get the idea. So if I were going to be making this card off of a live video, then I would sponge all the pieces. However, since we're doing this live, I'm just going to swap out those for those. And here we go. I'm going to use my glue dots for this part, because we do want to, the very last one, we're going to tuck. So I'm just going to put the glue dot on the top corner. And it really doesn't matter what corner it is unless you are specific about how you want your squares to align. So I want the pinks, the little pink flower to show here. So then I'm just going to start layering all the pieces just like this. I might have to grab some more glue dots in a minute. And you really don't need that much adhesive. One glue dot per square is more than enough. However, you could also probably use Tombow. But it gets really important once you get to the end, the very last square, because you have to tuck the other square behind it. This is kind of like a pinwheel, I think is what this is called. There might be a different name for it, but that's what I call it. Okay, we're almost there. I think 2 more maybe. 1 more. And the pink flower. Okay, so once you get to the last, you want to tuck this under the first one. Did you see that? So I'm tucking my last square under the first square. Let me bring you in a little bit more. Okay, so the last square I have, I'm tucking under the first square. Just like this. Oh, that one kind of slid on me. There we go. And boom. Look at how pretty. Oh, I love it. Don't worry about the middle. We're going to cover that up. But that's kind of our focal point that's going to go onto the front of our card. So the belly band is going to go like so, and that's going to go onto the front of our card. I might decide to leave off my white pieces that I stamped for the front. I don't know. We'll see how it goes when we get there. Okay, but now what I'd like to do is arrange my arrange my bouquet on the front of my focal point. So I'm going to line this back up just because I like to try and get everything nice and centered. So this may end up being too busy. Like I said, I had an idea and I didn't make the full card before I started going live here. So we're just going to kind of see how it all unfolds. I might love it, I might hate it, who knows. So I'm just kind of laying everything down so I can kind of get a placement. And I'm really focusing on covering up that middle section where we had that hole. And that's why I chose this bow, because that'll just go right there like this. So cute. Okay. And then, see, the background is pretty busy, so I think it would be beneficial to do some type of a light DSP right here. But as I said, I didn't have any available at the moment while I'm still currently in the hotel. So, and do we want to add the flowers? I think the flowers are too much. So I'm just going to glue on my stems and my bow, and we'll just stick with that. So to do that, what I will do is take some snail and just put a little bit in the middle here, just to tack down the first couple. Okay, so I want to kind of spread them out a little bit, some higher, some lower, and I can always trim off the ends if I want. So I have them just kind of tacked down with that snail right now. And now I think I want to gather, and I'm going to kind of smother the middle. And this dries clear, so I'm really okay with making a mess right now. Creative process. And you can, obviously, you can glue it down however you'd like, but this is just what I'm working with. Now that's going to dry clear, so I'm just going to give that a minute. And I'm also going to put a few more embellishments in the middle, so I'm really not worried about the glue showing. Alright, so let's get the inside of our card, the inside mat down. And again, this Whisper White piece is just cut 1/8 of an inch smaller on 2 sides. So we can glue that down, and I'm using the liquid glue so that I can kind of wiggle it around. When I have that small of a border, I like to be able to have that wiggle room. Okay. Diane, I think it's just you and me today. I don't see many other people joining us yet. I do see a few viewers. If you're watching, say hi. Let me know where you're from. All right. So, Diane, what is your opinion? Do we like this? Let me kind of put it together and see what it's going to look like when I have it all together. I think that's going to be too busy. I think I'd rather have it without. But let's just set it down and see what it looks like. Oh, I don't know, actually. Actually, it's not bad, is it? Obviously, I need to fix my middle a little bit, but in terms of having these... Oh, hello, Sherry. Maysville, North Carolina. Oh, my goodness, that's awesome. What do you ladies think? Do we like this piece up here on the back? Or, so that's option A, or let me take those pieces out and we'll just have a plain rich raspberry back. Oh, yeah, no, I think I like that better. Oh, I'm torn. Okay, I really need your help now. Because I like how, even though these pieces are busy, it really works with the plain background. Dilemmas. Okay, well, we could still use those other pieces. We could just put them on the inside. Like this. That's not bad. Maybe we could do that. What do you think? Okay, I'm going to... Executive decision made. I'm going to do that. I'm going to glue these pieces onto the inside. I love my liquid glue. What is your favorite adhesive and why? Mine would probably have to be the liquid glue because you can just do so much with it. You can make it permanent. You can make it temporary. Both are beautiful. I know, right, Sherry? They are beautiful either way, but I think I'm going to leave these on the inside. Okay. Oh, it feels like I haven't really done a whole heck of a lot today, but I've accomplished a lot. I have my little checklist. I make a checklist for myself every day. Diane says, I don't use liquid much, but I'm getting to be much better with the fast fuse. Hi, Cindy. Not feeling good. Don't think I can put up with my computer. I'm sorry, Cindy. Yeah. I wish you could watch on your phone. Maybe that would help. I don't know. All right. Yes, Diane, the fast fuse. I just opened a new one today because I don't know where my other one went. All right, so now we're going to adhere this together, and to do that, I'm going to use tear and tape. You could use your fast fuse as well, but I like the tear and tape because it is very, very strong. And I'm going to do this while it is around my card so that I make sure, let's see, actually, before I go sticking that, yes, it'll cover that whole thing. Okay. Before I go sticking all my glue down, I want to make sure it's going to cover all of it. So we're just going to put 2 strips here, and I'm doing it around the card like this so that I know how tight to make it, because you want to be able to slide your belly band on and off easily, but you also want it to keep the card closed nicely. All right, Cindy, take care. Okay. The light touch for the fast fuse. Oh, good. I'm glad that that helped you out. It really does just very, very light pressure on that. It's not like the snail at all. Okay, so now put that in the middle. Okay, so now we have our belly band that slides on and off nicely. And I'm gonna bling this up. Like I said, I did cut those little flowers, but I'm thinking now that it looks better without them. I really think that that would be a little too busy. I guess I could, I mean, you could put a couple around, but I'm leaving them off. Just gonna leave them all off. But I am going to grab my bling bling. Pearls or rhinestones? I'm thinking rhinestones. Yes, I'll use up a couple of these guys. All right, and I'm looking for my paper piercer. Here we go. And remember all that glue that got all over the place? Well, we're just going to fix that right up by covering up most of those little sticky spots with some rhinestones, and then sprinkle them around. There's always a way to fix what you think might be a boo-boo. I'm going to tuck this piece under here. There we go. Always a way to fix it. More rhinestones, less rhinestones, different sizes. Rhinestones just fix everything. Now my fingers are sticky, so they're sticking to my fingers. Okay. Put that one there. Uh-oh, he's stuck under my finger. And maybe one more. One more up here. So again, it might be a little busy, but that's the general idea. Put them on the inside. Put the rhinestones on the inside. Oh, the flowers on the inside. Yeah. Oh, Diane. Oh, you're so smart. I said I was going to stamp the inside too, didn't I? And I never did. Wah, wah. So, I mean, I don't know, wherever you want to stick them, you can group them all together in one corner. Oh, that's kind of cute. They kind of look like little clouds too, don't they? Oh, I feel another use coming on for this set. They could be little clouds coming out of like a choo-choo train if we had a cartoonish train. That looks super cute. All right, so I'm just going to use glue dots to put these on the inside. Diane, you're such a genius. There we go. Cute. Love it. And I do feel that it needs some mint on the inside. So I'm going to take my heart with my mint macaron. And I don't know if I want to make the sides any busier than they already are, but you could, you know, stamp that over there. But we'll just do 3 of these little hearts in the opposite corner. There. there's the inside of our gatefold card. So again, this was really just about the technique on how to do a gatefold. Hopefully the video is okay and I didn't have a lot of lag. I guess I'll find out when I rewatch it, but that is my gatefold card using the Jar of Love stamp set and the Everyday Jars framelits dies. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me turn you around and I'll say my goodbyes. Oh, can you see my wall sconce? Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. Yes. And we are ready. Oh, thanks, Sherry. Yeah, I thought it came out pretty good. Considering I had really no idea what I wanted to do for pre-stamping. It's not bad. You know, making your own designer series paper. That's one thing about being in the hotel is it's a lot harder to get all of my materials. Like if I was at home, no problem. I'd just order all the stuff. Order all the stuff and have it delivered to me, and then I would be able to do whatever I needed to do. But being in the hotel, and I'm not sure how long we're gonna be here, that's kind of a, we might be here until this day, but we might not. So I don't want to order anything and have it on its way here, but we're leaving. That would be disastrous. So making your own designer series paper is a great way to use all of the materials that you have available to you, but expand their uses. So I just thought that was kind of fun. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode of Melissa's Creations Live. Hopefully I can do it again next week. My connection is just a little unsure of itself though. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, if you want to join my team, or if you want to follow me on Facebook, contact me. Leave a message on the video. I would be more than happy to get in touch with you. You can head to facebook.com/mcreations. And I've also have my blog at melissascreations.com. Thanks guys so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.